Welcome to this pet portrait demonstration. I've started with my darkest values of black and brown on the dog's eyes before developing the fur. I'm using Uart 600 grade pastel paper and an assortment of pastels I will list in the description area below. I'm ready to select my base colors of the fur. I used Photoshop to help me select my color palette. You can see in the photo that I used the eyedropper tool to create my color swatches in the fur. I am using a dark gray and a beige color pastel to establish the base color between the dog's eyes and in the lower area of his forehead. I'll switch to a dark brown to contour the shading along the temple areas of his forehead. I'm using the sponge applicators to blend my colors because the Uart paper is rather abrasive and can irritate your fingertips, so I would recommend some form of tool to blend the pastels. I will also include some links in the description area to some of the supplies I'm using for this pastel painting. I would like to begin developing the dog's nose. I want to draw the shape of his nose and nostrils, and using very light shading techniques to develop the contours of the nose. It's important to begin with a light touch when developing the details in the dog's nose. This way, if I need to erase or change the shape, it'll be done very easily without any permanent marks in the paper. When shading the dog's nostrils, it's important to transition the dark to light shading inside the nostrils to create the depth and dimension in the dog's nose. He has some unique features in his nose, especially the small pink area at the tip of his nose. I'm going to use a paper stump to blend the pastel. It has a good point on the blender so I can get into small areas in the dog's features. This will also help push the color into the pastel paper. Now that I've established the unique characteristics of his nose, I'm going to move on to begin developing his muzzle area. Once his entire head and muzzle is blocked in, I can come back later and darken the shading and details. I'm going to start with my black pastel pencil to draw the shape of the dog's lips. Interestingly, the lips are really called the flue in a dog's anatomy. The skin that hangs down over the muzzle area, or the skin that you see flapping in the breeze when a dog's head is out of a car window, is all part of the flue area of the dog's anatomy. Next, I'm going to shade the dark areas around the dog's nose and lips. I'll blend this area with my paper stump. I'll switch to a dark pink pastel or a light maroon color to establish some of the skin color beneath the dog's lips. The fur in this area is very light and thin, so the natural skin color will show through more easily. I want to establish the pattern of dots for his whiskers. Then I'll start shading the muzzle area to establish the contour of the muzzle. You can see in the photograph that the whisker area is a little darker than the surrounding fur. So for the next minute or two, I'm going to blend and shade this area. Now that I've finished the base layer in the dog's face, I'm going to come back with the darker mid-tone colors to begin contouring the dog's face. You will begin to see how color transforms the shape and dimension of his face. Next, I'm going to define some of the darkest shadows in the dog's ear using my black pastel and a very dark maroon color. I'll use a terracotta color to outline his ear and neck. I'm using a very dark brownish red color in the ear, and then I'll apply some yellow ochre color over the ear before blending these colors together. As I blend these two colors together, the dark shadows begin to show through. Now that I have a dark layer of color for the ear, I can begin adding the lighter colors of hair on top of the dog's ear. I try to work from dark to light so the highlights and individual strands of hair will be on the top layer of the painting. I am applying a very light beige to the very top of the dog's head and the top area of the dog's ear. Next, I want to blend the areas around his face with my sponge applicator before moving on to his neck area. So please follow along for the next few minutes as I develop the fur details and shape some of the darker and lighter shadows to contour the dog's face. Before adding the details in the dog's fur, I will go ahead and begin blocking in the background of the painting. I will do this in several layers to achieve a background with great depth and highlights. With the background complete, I can now begin following my photo reference more closely to add the individual hairs and details of the fur. My next step is to finalize the dark values and shadings within the muzzle area of the dog and his nose. This dog portrait is of a dog named Cotton, and I believe he is 12 years old. I'm using my pastel pencil now to create the small strokes of individual hairs in the fur area of his muzzle. I am carefully darkening the values in his nose to try and achieve a realistic look to his nose. Going to add some rows of dots to indicate where the whiskers will be in the dog's muzzle. I will be using my pastel pencils to try and achieve thick fur with my light and dark pencil strokes. I will be using the gray and white pastel sticks to achieve the lightest layer of the top level of the fur. If you like realism, it's really important that you work from a very good high-resolution photograph. Usually when a customer sends me a photograph to work from, I can tell immediately even on my phone, by zooming up on the photo, whether the resolution is adequate to see all the details. Adding the small strokes of fur to the body can be very time consuming. I've speeded this up quite a bit to try and speed up the process, but it does take time, so please follow along while I continue to add the fur. Next, I'll block in the neck and body fur. Then I'll add detailed fur that will extend naturally into the background as the final step of the pet portrait. I hope you have enjoyed this demonstration of painting a pet portrait of a golden retriever in soft pastel. If you like this demonstration, please press like and leave a comment below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do, and I look forward to sharing more videos with you next time. Thank you.